welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Bhavika. At my channel, I talk about anything and everything, and today I'm going to be giving my 5 top romance webtoons recommendations. So if you're interested in webtoons or, need something new to read, then keep on watching. So for those of you who don't know, Webtoons is an app that you can get on Apple and Android, and essentially it's just another platform for content creators to be able to release their artwork as well as their stories. It is in manga form mostly, so if you're into that, definitely would recommend if you're looking for another platform to read different stories. One thing that I find very useful or convenient about it is the fact that it's on your phone. So if you want to read a story anywhere, you absolutely can. You don't have to have a physical copy. Not that I'm saying anything against physical copies of mangas or books, because I love those as well, as you can see behind me. But yeah, it's just another way for content creators to get their artwork and everything out there for people to view. So the way that Webtoons works is that the creators of these stories, they essentially release episodes or chapters. They're called episodes in Webtoons, but each episode is released, on a schedule. Most of the time it's once a week on a certain day, so you have something to look forward to every week. So the first story that I am recommending is My Dear Coldblooded King. It's by Lifelight. The story follows a girl named May. She is just a daughter of a merchant, living her day-to-day lives, very simple. And suddenly she is, without giving too much away, she gets pulled in and wrapped into the behind-the-scenes work of her kingdom, as well as a rebel gang that is trying to take over said kingdom. And with that, as she is playing a part and has just been sucked into this by the king, she actually realizes that her family is tied into the conflict that is happening, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. So with that whole, figure out what's going on and, why her family is a part of it and what it all means, there is a lot of romance that goes on. And in these romances, there's a lot that kind of just takes you by surprise. One of the amazing things about this story, on top of the artwork and everything like that, is the fact that you never know how things are connected. So you think it's connected in one way, but all of a sudden it's connected in a different way that you didn't think of, and you're always trying to figure out how it all comes together. So it definitely keeps you on your feet. The good thing about this story is that it is complete. There is 2 seasons worth of story for this whole thing. So if you haven't read it and you're going to, you're lucky, because you don't have to wait every week for a new episode. So I would highly recommend. But yeah, everything is just so intricate on how everyone is connected together. And the love story in itself is basically, again, without giving too much away, she catches the interest of a king and his brother. And then she also may have the interest of the leader of the rebel gang. So it's a love square? Yeah, we're going with that. Love square. So a lot of things going on. So the next one I would recommend is Midnight in Poppyland by Lilydusk. It follows the story of a girl named Poppy. She is an editor, and in the process of her trying to obtain a client, she gets acquainted with a mafia bodyguard. And with that, they befriend each other, they're attracted to each other, and her work in trying to get close to this client and him being in the mafia, there's a overlap, and they keep running into each other, and through that, they become friends, and she slowly kind of gets pulled into the mafia underworld and that kind of lifestyle. So It's definitely an intriguing story, to something very different, especially with two different people, two different personalities, and just them becoming friends and becoming close, and the love developing. Super cute. One of the most amazing things about this story is how relatable Poppy is, in the sense of, even though she knows she's getting kind of wrapped into the mafia world and she is put in situations where she is scared out of her mind, she is scared, but she kind of like makes herself do it. And I just think that the way that she makes herself do it, I think it's the most relatable thing ever. But also with the characterizations, like, you have this bodyguard who works for the mafia, and works for a mafia boss, and you kind of have an assumption that he's just this big, huge, tough guy, but like the creator like really breaks down these characters, and it's just so cute. I just read it. You will absolutely love it. Also, Midnight in Poppyland is still an ongoing series, so it just hit the finale of the first season. Currently on hiatus until it comes back, so you do have time to get caught up and for when the new season gets started. So for the next one, I would recommend Age Matters by Enjelicious. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. But the story follows a girl named Rose. She's 30 years old, and she's kind of hit that point in her life where she's just like, what am I doing? What have I accomplished? Why am I single? And she's just kind of very down about herself, questioning everything. And suddenly she has to take over her best friend's position of being a personal assistant to a CEO who is 20 years old. And comparatively to the first two that I mentioned before, this one's a little different in the sense that it's just about friendship and love, and watching these two people, Rose and Daniel being the CEO, kind of work together, and they're become friends, as well as develop feelings for each other. And it's just like a somewhat similar to like a coming of age story, in the sense of they're just learning to accept who they are and accept things, and change their views on certain things. So it's a very cute story. It's very cute. It's very just aww. I would again highly recommend this one for anyone who kind of wants just something simple, something cute. Yeah. This story is still ongoing, so there are a bunch of episodes that you can catch up on before you you're caught up to the current episode. So yeah. So the next one I would recommend is Sirens Lament by Instantmiso. The story follows a young girl named Lyra. She's kind of just the shy, quiet type of girl, and she is dealing with somewhat of a heartbreak. And her heartbreak attracts the attention of a siren, and with that, she is cursed with the siren's curse, except it never fully took completely. So now she has this half siren friend. She's a half siren, and they have to figure out how to get this curse and fix it, essentially. But in doing so, she gets taken into the world of the sirens and how everything goes. And there's this big mystery of where sirens come from, along with having to get rid of the curse itself for the both of them. This story is one that I would definitely recommend to someone who kind of likes the fantasy aspect, especially with it being about sirens, mermaids, that kind of deal. One thing that I absolutely love about this series is just how the artistry pulls you into that world specifically, because most of the time, half of it's on land, half of it's underwater. So the detail to it making you feel like you are underwater, that you are there. Not just specifically this artist, but this artist does use music to help, create the atmosphere. A lot of the other ones that I've mentioned previously also do use music occasionally, but this is one that anytime that they are underwater, I've noticed there's some form of music that plays, and it just is, it's a whole experience. And this is going to sound weird, but when reading and going through this story, you feel this sense of just like calm and tranquility as you're going, because you're underwater, and it's just like it's definitely an experience. And I don't know if anyone else is going to understand what I'm saying, which is probably going to be a reason I would say go read it so you can understand or get your own perception of it. But that's one thing that I absolutely adore about this series. And it is a complete series, so you won't have to wait every week for that. So there's that. And last but not least for this video is Freaking Romance by Snailords. This follows a girl named Zilith. She just got kicked out by her dad because she decides that she wants to pursue a career in in art, and he does not approve. So she ends up finding this place in this apartment where she starts seeing this guy named Zealand, and he can only be seen by her and no one else. And so the story kind of just is about them trying to figure out why. But the other part of the story is that she has to figure out what the meaning of love is. Another thing that I really like about this story is the fact that it always kept you on the edge of your seat. The cliffhangers were hurtful. It hurt to be left on a cliffhanger like that, but were absolutely like leaving you to want more. Like, you just wanted to know what was going to happen. And it just, every episode going forward, each one just got crazier and crazier, and you're just like, what is going on? Good thing for all of y'all, this is a completed series, so you can just read through it and be done. You don't have to wait. You didn't have to wait for it, but it definitely is a whirlwind. And at times it's just like so intense. You're just like, what's going on? Like, what is happening? Like, you feel as if you are there experiencing the heightened emotions of all of these characters. So I think that was done very well by the artist and the creator. But all in all, it's a very sweet story down to its core, especially with the aspect of, dealing with trauma and having friends to be there for you and figuring out what love is exactly. I think a lot of people can relate in regards to that. So it's a very sweet story with a supernatural element, and one that keeps you wanting more to see what's going on and to read the next episode. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, as well as leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you're going to give any of these a try, or if you have any recommendations. I would love to know there. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell, to be notified of all new videos once I get them posted. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye.